September 2001, and 119 competitors from 31 countries descend on Sydney, Australia. They're all here for the 2001 Ifmar 1/8 scale IC Circuit World Championship. The two major sponsors for this event are Kyosho and Serpent Motorsport. This year's event is hosted by the New South Wales Radio Control Racing Car Club at the newly named John Grant International Raceway, situated in Moorebank, Sydney, Australia.
Getting ready, Ray. Getting ready.
How's Catalaro going?
He's good. He's in second position right now, and third's about 3 seconds behind him. And he's got a lap lead over fourth. So providing he finishes, doesn't make any mistakes, he should actually go through to the next stage.
Qualifying has been held over the previous few days and has seen the top 4 qualifiers placed directly into the grand final. The remaining drivers are seeded into a series of rapid-charging lower finals. It's early Friday morning and the track is still relatively quiet, but for these guys, it's the big time and it's their shot at the Worlds.
One more step up the ladder! Good boy!
Catalaro wins his final, and along with the second and third place getters, makes the progression to the next level. Mechanics wait in the staging area. Get the thumbs up from the drivers.
Release the car.
Other group of drivers go up to their final. Car 3 spins out of the box and onto the grass. First lap incident almost guaranteed to happen. Throttle jams wide open at 42,000 RPM. More unfriendly sounds as Catalaro slams into the wall at the end of the straight at over 100 kilometers an hour.
What happened?
Bartolozzi checks out the damaged car with a severely dislodged back right-hand wheel. Looks like they're out for the day. Nice to watch, but not good for the lap times. How much? 100 mils to fill that tank. Meanwhile, some other drivers are just snoozing in the pits. That includes Osaka. Just watching the lap times come in.
Tell us, Vaughn, what happened, dude?
We kicked some ass.
Kick some ass!
Good old Kiwis.
Steve Sharp's mechanic Vaughan very pleased with their performance here at the Worlds. Love the way they spell Sydney.
Main straight, hit a rock, the car just went up, hit the back wall, mate, it slammed. And the car was on fire.
Been to the world,
You won a final, and that's what's important.
One severely damaged car, but one very happy driver. Some drivers find their own way off the track, others get a helping hand. The day progresses on, temperature and traction rise, and the lap times plummet. High traction, high speed, top level drivers, this is the World Championships. We now move on to the 20-minute odd quarterfinal. The grid, in order, is Colombini on pole, followed by Cristiani, Kitade, Yaruki, Bartolozzi, Grant, Tsujimura, Kitagawa, Shasad, and Reed. Grant, Yaruki and Kitagawa stalled on the grid. While Bartolozzi screams from 5th into 3rd, flies across the apex, gets it sideways, countersteers off the track. He rejoins the pack in 7th, while 1st and 2nd pull away from the pack. It gets pretty congested on that back hairpin. Grant leaves the pits, one of the 3 cars to stall on the line. Colombini from Italy leads, from France's Cristiani, and 3rd is Kitade from Japan. This is your leader Colombini already stretching out his lead and getting himself into the zone. Kitade capitalizes on a mistake by Cristiani to move into 2nd place. A couple of laps later, and a big off on the back straight as Yaruki wheel sands it into the back fence. And our leader chopping through some back markers. John Grant gets ready for Stewart. So Colombini still leads, from Kitade in second, Fujimura in third, Cristiani in fourth, and Australia's Rick Bartolozzi in fifth. Oh, very loose through the S's. And another one sideways. Car 4, Yuruki into the pits. Jumping to the 14-minute mark, Colombini still leads, and Cristiani in second, Bartolozzi now in third, starting fourth, and Yuruki in fifth. After maintaining second position for the majority of the race, Car 7, Masayo Tsujimura, is out of the race. The problem? A mystery to his mechanics. Retirements so far are Car 8, Kitagawa after only 5 laps, and Car 7, Tsujimura after 46 laps. Rick Bartolozzi now runs in third place. If he can maintain this, it will see him progress into the semi-finals. Meanwhile, fellow Australian Andrew Reid in Car 10, still languishing back in 7th position. Dressard sitting in fourth. Kitade, although he sits back in 8th position, has been putting in some of the fastest times in this race, including the fastest lap time, a 15.612 seconds. Whoa, that's fast. Tadej places pressure on Shazad, but it's not for position, he's actually a few laps down. And succumbs to his own pressure. For our leader, the last minute must seem like eternity. Shazad, running very low on fuel, comes into the pits and goes straight back out the other side.
The order is still 1259.
Stuart Grant goes off as the buzzer sounds. Shazad again fuel stalls it in front of the leader and comes into the pits completely empty. At the end of this quarter-final, Stefano Colombini from Italy takes the win, Serge Christiani from France in second, and Australia's Rick Bartolozzi comes in third. The Novorossi team obviously extremely pleased with both Colombini and Bartolozzi's performances. The top 4 cars go straight into scrutineering. The 4th car is kept just in case any of the other 3 cars do not pass the inspection.
No problem.
The process of scrutineering at World Championship level is thorough and tight. First, the car is put through a roll-through box to check its width and track. Of course, there is always paperwork. Checking the time and date of inspection, the competitor's ID number, his placement in the racing groups, and whether this is the car's first full inspection or part inspection. In this case, the motor is not checked. The fuel capacity right back to the carburetor is measured. This is done by detaching the fuel line at the motor and sucking out the full fuel system into a large measuring syringe. Spot on. A very relieved driver. This is his first scrutineering at a world title event. Race director Sander de Graft walks in, always keeping a close eye on proceedings at the event. By checking the fuel with a flotation device, the percentage of nitro additive can be checked. If it is illegal, it will float at a different level. The body is checked for such things as making sure the motor cutout is no larger than allowed, that the driver's figure has his eyes open. That's a joke, drivers. The weight is checked. Must be no more than 2,500 grams. And then the chassis is marked as the one put through the process. So now we move on to the third last final of the day, 30-minute duration, even semi-final. Grid listing for this race from the top is Tanaka, Green, Solaroli, Birch, Cyril, Koma, Hurt, Tanahashi, Vega and Bestel. Exclamations from Gerald Cyril as Josh stalls it on the line and Ralph Birch jumps. Ooh. Cars 4 and 7, after jumping the start, are called in for penalties. Ralph Birch goes off on the infield. In this slow motion replay of the start, we see Ralph Birch jump the grid. Everything looks good at this point. And then car 3 spins in front of the pack and a stack of aerial ballet is performed. Ralph Birch got him first. Josh Cyril, after stalling at the start, is now in front of our leader on the track and desperately trying to pull away. Tanaka leads, followed by Green, Koma, Hirth and Vega. Ralph Birch's car definitely looking very unstable this weekend. He's not having a good time. It's early stages yet, indeed 27.5 minutes to go, but our leader is Tanaka from Green, Koma and Hirth. Spin under pressure. Perth comes back on the track after an off. And so the mechanics prepare for the first series of pit stops.
Okay, final 1, 2, 3, and 5. That's the order. 1, 2, 3, and 5. And they are still in the same way.
A pack of cars come in for their first pit stop, and mayhem breaks loose. Car 2, Mark Green, still running in second position. Green with Birch trailing. Unfortunately for Tanahashi, his car has not looked competitive since the start of the race. As we rejoin the race after a few more laps, we see Ralph Birch perform a spectacular crash with a little helping hand from Bestel. Tanaka's still out there leading as some other drivers come in for their second pit stop. That's a big roll from Solaroli, currently running in fourth place. With less than 4 minutes remaining, Junichi Koma is running in third position. Josh Cyril, after a disastrous stall at the beginning of the race, has now pulled himself through the pack and is now only seconds behind our leader Tanaka. There's Cyril, and Tanaka pulls into the pits. Cyril goes by and is our new race leader. There's only 2 minutes remaining. And our race order is 5, 1, 6, 10, 3, 7, and 4. Cyril pits, and Tanaka moves back into the lead. Birch runs wide to let the stealth through. Oh, that's Solaroli. He spins out of turn 1. That's our leader Tanaka, and Cyril is only seconds behind. Last lap, and Cyril's reeling it in. Masao Tanaka from Japan takes this one out, but only just, with a gap of only 1.6 seconds back to Cyril in second, and a further 8 seconds back to Koma in third. What an excellent race. Josh Cyril's body language is very telling of the effort he has just made to pull himself from last position back up into second and therefore get into the grand final. And after all, that's what he came here for.
Interview with Ralph Burge Jr. Did Dad used to race?
My dad? Very little. He was a mechanic. My sister used to race.
A very famous one at that.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
Been a while.
Makes you feel bloody old, doesn't it?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Ralph Burge Jr. from the United States, first time to Australia?
Yes, sir.
What do you think of the track?
Track's excellent. I wish we'd have been a little better prepared, but the track is excellent. We can't complain about the racetrack at all.
That's good. Now you've come from a few practice runs with challenges with the car and the engine and whatnot. You put in a good run last run, brought you up to 10th current standings. How do you feel about the car now?
I think we got a good chance. The clutch was a little bit heavy that time. I think we can make a few more changes to the car, and I don't know if we can TQ, but I think we can definitely have a good chance of getting in the top 4, that's for sure.
Now, you've recently been voted the most famous or the most popular RC car driver in the world. And I would have to say that I would agree with that, basically because you've been in the sport since Adam was a boy. Is that adding any more pressure? Or?
No, I don't know. Not any more pressure than I put on myself anyway. I mean, I expect to go out there and win anytime I race, so it's not any added pressure to me. It's not, because nobody's going to put any more pressure on me than myself. So no, I don't feel like I have anything to prove. To me, it was kind of an honor, a little surprising, but I think the fact that I've been racing for such a long time and I race so many different types of cars, I think that had a little bit to do with it.
With the current top 10 the way it is, we've seen tremendous amounts of traction beyond comprehension, a lot of adjustments to the car. The top guys are getting frustrated because they've never experienced this type of track before. Do you think that the top 10 as it is now will change dramatically?
I don't know about dramatically. I mean, there's a few guys outside of the top 10 that definitely could, that had the potential and the talent to move up. Right now, it's just the track changes a little bit, cars are changing just a little bit. You know, it's just who can make the best adjustments and stay on top of it. I don't think there'll be huge changes in the top 10, but I think there will be some, yeah.
And we're hoping to see you in the final, of course.
That's my plan anyway.
Well, I'm sure you'll be there.
I would love to be there, I promise you.
Now, as we know, exactly a week before, the most horrendous thing that the human race could ever experience happened in New York. As an Australian, I cannot express how deeply we feel for the loss of all the people involved. But as an American, how must it be being this far away, finding out when you land that this tragedy's happened?
It was surprising, you know. I mean, just all of a sudden you're getting off an airplane and you find out basically the country's been bombed in a roundabout way. I mean, that's what it was. You know, you're basically, it's war. Just like they considered. That's the way we looked at it. I mean, we got off an airplane, all of a sudden we got cameras in our face. You know, wanting to be interviewed, what do we think? Well, you know, we really didn't know anything at the time other than some airplanes had flown the side of some buildings. And it's aggravating because, you know, I don't think it's the end of it. That's the worst part. I mean, no matter what they do, it's not going to be the end of it for a while. They can go get Osama bin Laden, they can do what they want. That's, I think, actually, war is going to make it worse before it gets better, you know, unfortunately, because that's the way those people believe. So, a tragedy, and unfortunately, like I say, I don't think it's over.
Well, with that thought, know that Australia's behind you. We hope you have a great time here, and the best of luck.
Appreciate it, thank you.
This is the penultimate final of the weekend, the odd semi-final. So now the cars move out for their couple of minutes of warm-up. Check the tyres are seated, the engine's running well, and their heart rate is down. Santini's there. That's Lamberto Collari. And our reigning world champion, Adrian Bertin. Cars get set for the start.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Release the car.
Oh, it looks like Dominion's stalled. And so is Fantini, Igon and Bartolozzi. A clean start from the other drivers. The 4 restarted cars are now out in front of the leader. In this slow motion replay of the start, we see Adrian Bertin in the bright green car rocket straight down the outside, and from 7th he gets to 3rd position. What a start. Early stages yet, but Shimo in car 1 from Japan leads. In car 5 of Kalari, Batin in car 7, and car 9 of Christiani is in 4th position. Fantini passes Dominin for 7th position. Batin moves into 2nd. There's our leader, and Batin is coming on in quite quick now. Batin now crawling all over the back of Shimo, who's about to make the move at any minute. And at the end of the back straight, Batin jumps down the inside and becomes our new race leader.
Just over 4 minutes of racing. Car number 7 in the lead under the impact center. Followed by car number 1, car number 5, 9, 3, 4, 8, 2, 10 and 6.
Okay, here comes the first series of pit stops. While most of the pack is pitted, Adrian Batin is still out there circulating. Igon goes to the greenery, does a bit of lawn mowing, and returns to the track.
Okay, we've had the first refueling. We're running now for 6 minutes. Car number 7 in the lead, under the impact center. Followed by car number 5, car number 1, 9, 4, 8, 2, 3, 10 and 6.
Oh, and a huge stack from Colombini on the back straight. Let's see that one again. He runs slightly wide, clips the grass, and goes head over heels all the way back onto his wheels, only to be rescued by a marshal.
7.5 minutes of racing. Car number 7 in the lead, 27 left. Car number 5, second place, 27 left now. Third position, car number 1, 27. Fourth position, car number 4, 27. Fifth position, car number 2, 27. Sixth position, car number 3, 27. Seventh position, car number 9, 27. Eighth position, car number 8, 27. So 4-2.
And so the top 8 cars are all running on the same lap. Argon gets some gentle help into the infield.
13 minutes to go. Car number 7 in the lead, followed by 1, 5, 4, 8, and 10.
Shimo spins in front of the group in turn 1. Lamberto Colari in car 5. Slow motion is the only way you can see these cars' real ability. Absolutely no body rolling. Argon moves past Cristiano. So Baton leads with about a 10-second gap over Shimo in second, Fantini in third, and Colari in fourth position.
6 minutes to go, 6 minutes to go. Car number 7, followed by 1, 4, 5, and 8. Cars 7, 1, 4 and 5 are still in the same lap. 7, 1, 4 and 5 are still running in the same lap. Car number 7 is 5 seconds from car number 1. Car number 1 is 4 seconds from car number 4. Car number 5 and 1 are almost right behind each other.
Oh well, we'll send it back out. And that's Fantini now in second, trailing our leader.
3 minutes to go. Car number 7, followed by 4, 1 and 8.
Dominin gives Cristiani a small nudge, Bartolozzi takes advantage of the situation and moves ahead. Marco Rossi keeping an eye on everything. Kalari gives Dominant another small nudge. Meanwhile, Bartolossi's crew carries his car in dead. This is the battle for third position. Oh, Colombini, trying to avoid the back of Kalari, hits the apex and kickflips onto the grass. Igon mowing the lawn again. Christiani has an off, and Bartolozzi takes out the apex. Oh, Christiani off again. Oh, there's something wrong with his car. Maybe he's chunked a tire or something. Oh no, Shimo, after running in second place for almost all of the race, runs out of fuel with only 30 seconds remaining. He's carried back to the pit by a marshal. Asahara also runs out of fuel and politely pulls off to the centre of the track, knowing he cannot finish the lap. So our reigning world champion Adrien Bertin has made it into the grand final along with Massimo Fantini and Lamberto Kalari. They're in for the big one. The combatants for the grand final have been chosen. The top 4 grid positions were chosen from qualifying. On pole position we have Daniele Ilarsi representing Italy. Second is Michael Salvin from Germany. Third qualifier from Japan is Keisuke Fukuda, and fourth qualifier is Kenji Osaka, also from Japan. The 6 other qualifiers came from the top 3 placements in each semi-final. In 5th is reigning world champion Adrien Bertin from France. 6th position is Masayo Tanaka from Japan. Massimo Fantini from Italy is on 7th. Representing the USA, Josh Cyril in 8th. On grid 9, Lamberto Kalari from Italy. And rounding out the grid, Junichi Koma from Japan. After a couple of laps, the race is pulled up after a huge false start is instigated by Alesi. Everyone seems unhappy, except for Michael Salvin, who didn't manage to make it out of the box. Both Bertin and Cyril gesture to the referees. What was that? Marco Rossi has a talk with his top mechanic and gestures to Ilasi to calm down. They go back to their boxes and try again. Good start. The whole pack is away cleanly. Bakuda rolls Salvin at the hairpin. The nerves are showing. Now they're both at the back of the pack. So on the third lap, Ilasi leads from Bertin, Kalari and Osaka. Cyril takes Fantini for 6th. Ilasi is pulling away from the pack. Osaka shadowing Kalari. Cyril has moved up yet another position into 5th. Ooh, Fantini slides at the end of the back straight and almost takes the nose of Coma. Current world champion Adrian Bertin makes his move at the end of the back straight and takes the lead from Ilasi. Kalari clips an apex, Osaka sees the hole and is immediately through. After taking the lead from Ilasi, Bertin immediately starts putting in fast lap times. 15.86, 15.83 and 15.61 seconds. Unbelievable. He's reeling them off. Kalari runs off, coming onto the front straight. As the mechanics prepare for their first series of pit stops, Bertin leads from Ilasi in second, then Osaka, Cyril, Tanaka and Fantini. It definitely gets busy down in pit lane. Randall Foote doing his usual brand of commentary on the microphone.
Representing Japan, caliber 3 in 8th place, and on that note, you need to have a boost down to 9th. We certainly remember seeing Junichi Koma in the 1985 World Championship in Japan, and we're glad to see him back at still racing.
We catch the action a little later. Ilassi slides out and somersaults into the infield, letting Osaka through into second. The car number 5 of Adrien Bertin pulls up on the infield. He frantically gestures to his mechanics, and a marshal rushes his car back to the pits. And for the first time in history, we have 3 Japanese drivers leading a World Championship Grand Final. First place is Kenji Osaka, second place is Masao Tanaka, and third is Keisuke Fukuda. Michael Salvin pulls up onto the infield. Tanaka nearly makes contact with Alesi. Alesi comes in unexpected, and Alesi's mechanics go to work. Otan is now looking distressed on the driver's stand. Car 5, Adrian Botan is out of the race. With 30 minutes down and 30 minutes to go, first is Osaka, second is Tanaka, third is Fukuda, fourth is Cyril, and fifth is Fantini. A lot of chatter from the Japanese mechanics up to their drivers as Fukuda pits. Koma comes in and the mechanics try to find his problems. Tanaka pits, and Koma's still there. On this slow motion replay, we see Alasi run wide after the sweeper and launch himself into the JR Racing sign. And the car does not look well after it. Koma, Tanaka, Bertin, Cyril, Fantini, Fukuda and our race leader, Osaka. Daniel Alasi, after looking like the gun of the weekend, pulls out with a mere 13 minutes to go. Junichi Koma hits the tyre barrier in the infield and appears to have no steering. Kalari T-bones Tanaka, and Cyril, almost getting involved, moves across Tanaka's nose and takes second place from him. Lacey's team announces his official retirement, and Koma's mechanics still trying to get his car back in the race. He and his mechanics look at each other, and Koma walks off the stand in despair. His day is over. Retirements at this stage: Adrian Bertin after 88 laps, Junichi Koma after 166 laps, Daniel Alasi after 170 laps, and Michael Salvin has just pulled out with engine problems after 179 laps. We have just 6 cars left in the race. Cyril loops the car around after coming out of turn 1. His car's gone totally loose now. Due to the preceding incidents, Cyril has dropped back into 4th position and is desperately trying to hang on to this ill-handling car. Gerald Cyril refuels the car, puts it back on the track. There's nothing much more he can do at this stage of the race. Osaka communicates with his mechanics, and they work out the timing on what will be his last stop. Fukuda is running all over the back of Tanaka. They're running for second position. Oh, Cyril's car just about undrivable now. How can he keep it going? Devastation sets in as Gerald Cyril picks up the car. The rear belt drops on the ground. Josh Cyril's race is over. Fukuda still pressuring Tanaka for second place. But then he makes a mistake coming onto the front straight and launches his car off the track. The buzzer sounds and Kenji Osaka breathes a sigh of relief. All he has to do is bring it round for one more lap and he will become the new Ifmar 1/8 scale Circuit World Champion.
There he is, number 4, at this moment, conditional Ifmar World Championship, the World Champion for 2001, Kenji Osaka, from Japan. Second place, Masao Tanaka, car number 6. Also from Japan, Keisuke Fukuda. In car number 3, also from Japan, Mugen, Osaka, Tanaka and Fukuda. First, second and third. Mechanics, you are reminded, leave your cars. Scrutineering will pick the cars up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of this, we will have a presentation, so please hang around.
After the race, everyone retires back to the pit area and Osaka starts signing autographs.
Don't
Our three place getters nervously chat about the false start that preceded the race.
そしたらウキウキであれだよ模擬スタートの時グリップ動かして飛んでっちゃったのマジかよ
In a rough translation, we hear Osaka exclaim, "How can this possibly be happening?"
みんなよコマ君とこれお前スタートの練習じゃなかったのかとか言ってそうそういやだから俺マジかよ俺やっていけてこれでもさビヨーンと追いついてったからあなんだできたと思ったらストープとか言うからさまあいいかこの時に2番手で1番だよお前日本に帰ったらまた
At the banquet on the following evening, the complete trophy presentation was made.
This year's new world champion for this 2001 IC 1/8 scale Circuit World Championship, Kenji Osaka, finishing on.
About 12 months ago in this country, there was a very prominent person here who said, Sydney, this is the best. And as far as I'm concerned, this race is the best. Thank you.
So ends the 13th Ifmar World Championship. The reign of American and European dominance has ended as 3 Japanese drivers with 3 Japanese cars have taken the honours. And so we wait until 2003 to see who will be crowned the next Ifmar 1/8 scale IC Circuit World Champion.